Yo, what is going on, guys? Cryptic TMG back with a brand new video. Today is the video you guys have been waiting for. I'm going to be giving you all the best settings for the LMGT3s for fixed setup. So that's for fixed. So this is a little bit different if you're going to be doing open setups. I chose to do it around Bahrain because it's got a lot of traction zones, a lot of zones where you need your car to be braking into the corner and turning a little bit. So trying to get your brake bias right, trying to balance the car. And I thought this was the perfect track for it. A lot of heavy braking zones. So without any further ado, let's get stuck into the video. So as you guys saw, the first car we're going to be doing is the Aston Martin. I've actually worked out that 440 works pretty well with the Aston Martin. 50-50 brake bias, but I keep the ABS on 9 because I believe that it makes it a little bit too oversteery on corner entry on 6. If you're a higher skilled player, then you could probably get away with 6, but for me, 9 and 50-50 on the brake bias works pretty well. Next, we got the BMW M4, which is one of the fan favorites. And for this car, man, you know, it's just funny how the TCs change a lot. You just don't have to run it as high anymore. TC on 4, TC cut on 2, and once again, the slip on 0. In the front engine cars, you really don't need a lot of TC slip on fixed setup because the cars are so understeery. But brake bias 51.5 and ABS on 6 has a really nice balance for the BMW. So you guys try it out and tell me what you think. Now for the Corvette, which I personally consider like a dark horse car. Not many will try it, but it's definitely a car with a lot of potential. So for me, I went with 530. Again, felt pretty good, easy to control, easy to handle, wasn't too much difficulty getting on the throttle and stuff like that. Brake bias 47.5 and ABS on 9. And I feel like that gave it the best balance without making it too understeery and too uncontrollable. And I really do feel like this car might be one of those ones where you might have to try it, lads. So have a look at it. Moving on to the Ferrari 296, a car that is definitely one of the cars that has benefited the most from the update. Definitely very fast, insanely quick at the moment. Not sure how it is on fixed, but I did try this and this was my sort of recommendation. 4 on the TC, 5 on the TC cut, and 1 on the TC slip. You want your brake bias on 51.0 and your ABS on 9. And I found the car was easy enough to control, no real problems, nothing like it was before where it was a little bit on the sketchy side like the Corvette was, but now it just feels almost like a dream to drive. So definitely, guys, jump in the Ferrari, give it a try. I promise you it's gonna feel decent. Now onto the Ford, which for me, I feel like it's got a little bit of a raw deal. Ever since the last update before the full release, the Ford has just been a little bit meh, a little bit just so-and-so, doesn't really stand out. And, you know, unfortunately, it's kind of had a fall from grace, but nevertheless, on the TC, I'm using 4, TC cut on 1, TC slip on 0, 52.2 on the brake bias, and 6 on the ABS was the best balance that I could find. Now for the undisputed GOAT in fixed setups. I think we can all agree at the moment the Lamborghini in fixed setup is pretty crazy. You know, car feels great, lovely handling car, very nice to drive, naturally aspirated engine. The car just feels amazing. But I've gone for 432 on the TC, brake bias on 49.8 and 9 on the ABS. You can run 6 on the ABS balance, but for me personally, even in a 20-minute race, it does start to wear the tires just a little bit quicker than when I run 9. So I personally prefer it on 9, but you can run 6. But yeah, I would say if you're new to the game, definitely keep it on 9. Just try the TC settings out, see what you guys think. For me personally, makes the car extremely easy to drive. So we move on to the Lexus, which is probably the pick of the front engine cars at the moment. It's definitely the one that has maybe the most potential. But yeah, seriously nice to drive, sounds amazing as well. But I've gone with 420, 0 on the TC slip again. Brake bias, we've gone with 51.8 and ABS on 6 for balanced. And yeah, I found the car felt extremely nice to drive, very easy to balance the car. As I said before, I do feel like this car on fix is probably the front engine car with the most potential, probably mixing out with the BMW depending on the track, but definitely a very good car at the moment. Moving on to the McLaren 720 Evo, again for me another dark horse. Not too sure whether that will be on fixed, but for sure, definitely has a car with a lot of potential. I do believe on open setup, it's going to come much more towards the forefront. It will be interesting, but on fixed, we're going to go with this on the settings, 440. Again, no TC slip needed. 51.8 on the brake bias and 6 on the ABS. And once again, it's all about getting the balance correct with the car. And I felt this was the best balance for the McLaren. Should be easy enough to drive. I did struggle a little bit on getting the car slowed down for corners, but that is something that has always been with the McLaren. But anyway, guys, test it out for yourselves. And here we are at the Mercedes AMG, the brand new LMGT3 that's come to the game. And I have to say, the car is a little bit on the weird side. For starters, the force feedback in the AMG feels extremely light. So 9 times out of 10, when you jump in this car, you're probably going to have to turn up your force feedback a little bit. It's definitely on the understeery side. I'm not too sure about its overall pace. I do need to use it more. But that being said, it's probably one of the most forgiving cars when it comes to traction control and your TC settings. So I'm actually running 220. You can actually get away with 110. It's that forgiving, but for the majority of people, I feel like 220 will be a good starting point. Brake bias 56.8 and your ABS on 9. Can't really go wrong with this car. It's pretty easy to drive. It's just very understeery. So that's where my focus was. How can I get it around the track without it feeling too understeery? So try it out for yourselves, guys. So last but not least, the Porsche 992. And again, for me, this is a car that is way more dangerous in open setups. I feel like its max potential in open setups is way bigger than what you see in fixed. So again, it's one of those cars that maybe in fixed this may not be always at the forefront, but in open, I do believe it is one of those cars that could be a potential, you know, top 3 selected. But getting into the settings for the Porsche, I actually stopped with 554. I felt like the balance was at least correct around this track, and it has moments where it can become understeery when you go through corners and get on the throttle, but also it can be oversteer at the same time. So I tried to split it right down the middle, try and get that balance spot on. I put the brake bias to 48.8 and ABS on 9, and the car felt good, man. Remember, it's on max swing on the fixed setup, so it's quite understeery. So, you know, that's one thing you have to take into account. But for me, I actually enjoy driving the car quite a lot. So that's all the cars at the moment, guys. I hope you do enjoy these settings, because I know a lot of you have been pretty much waiting for this video. But yeah, man, I just had to test it out for myself, see what was really working with all the cars. You have to bear in mind some things as well. Remember, this is for, you know, fix out the shorter races where, for instance, a lot of the time you've got tire warmers and stuff like that. Remember, for the races that don't have tire warmers, you're going to actually have to stick with it for 2 or 3 laps before you can actually get the benefit of the settings, because, of course, on cold tires, the car's probably going to be a bit sketchy. It's going to be understeering and stuff like that. So in the races where you don't have any tire warmers, you're going to have to stick with it for 3 or 4 laps until your tires are up to temperature to get the, you know, the full benefit of all the TC settings and all the ABS settings and stuff like that. So hope you guys enjoyed the videos. Cryptic TNG, like and subscribe, hit the notification bell to catch my videos first, and peace.